Good morning. This is Coffee Talk coming at you from my house. It's been forever, I feel like, since I've sat in my office and had the opportunity to do a little coffee talk. Seriously, I feel like it's been forever. Good morning to you. Thank you for hanging out. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a good day to have a good day. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Take a look outside, shall you? Tower Cam Network looking fantastic across Central Florida. If you're making plans to go out and about and try to enjoy your day, I think you're going to be in luck. It looks like it's going to be beautiful. That's a gorgeous sight from our downtown Orlando Tower Cam. Let's check in on the Orlando International Airport. We're looking good over there. New Smyrna Beach, checking in. Couple of people already out and about, right? Like, I get it. It's a nice early start over to Brevard County Kennedy Space Center Tower Cam. Looking over at Launch Complex 39A. This is where the Falcon Heavy is standing tall, my friends. Could we get a Falcon Heavy launch today? There have only been a handful of these. I went back and tried to count. Less than 10 Falcon Heavies have gone up, which they're essentially three Falcon 9s strapped together. And by doing that, aerodynamically, it changes the whole game. It's not just strapping three together and going. I mean, they had to readjust all this stuff. But nevertheless, it increases payload to orbit, all of those sorts of things, and looks like a really nice morning at the Kennedy Space Center. I do have some concerns for the forecast later on today. We check out the launch forecast, and there's a 30% chance of good weather for this. Essentially, as long as the storms this afternoon develop and move inland, we should be good. If they don't, it's going to be questionable. So let's hope beyond hope. Also, I thought I was just doing the weather for this thing. No, baby, I'm your space reporter today. Does that mean I get to like extra nerd out? Super excited about that. Diane says 30% no. The thing that's funny about this is the Falcon Heavy is the rocket, at least for me on a personal level, that has been absolutely elusive. Whether I was sick or on vacation or Al Roker, I did like a workout with Al Roker at Universal Studios. Like literally, this is the rocket that I just don't seem to get the opportunity to go play with. Man, I am knocking on wood that today is different. So let's do this. Let's take a look at the various flavors of computer models. All right. Let's start with our on a day like today, we really need to dial in that forecast, okay? So here's our standard long-range futurecast. I've got the rapid futurecast running as well. All right. So 10:30, 11 o'clock, watching some rains out west. 12, 1 o'clock. You see the activity building, right? Right? 3 p.m. activity building. 5 p.m. This is where it's hairy. Because you're wanting a launch. There's going to be storms in the vicinity. It's a concerning thing for that launch forecast. 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30. Obviously, there's a lot of stormy weather in the forecast there. Right? That goes without saying. If we look at the rapid, I'm just looking like rapid update futurecast. This just ran in the last 15 minutes. It runs at like 45. Showing some showers around 1:30 to 3 o'clock, stormy across the metro, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Now, I'll say, at least to this point, rapid update futurecast is looking better for the launch, not better necessarily for like the metro. Like it's going to storm. Now, we need the rain. Let me dial up the her. Give me a few seconds. Bada bing, bada boom. Where are you? There you are. Look, with the elusive Falcon Heavy, I'm going to pull up every model I've got. All right, here's the her model. So we've got the clouds. Hers mirroring Futurecast with those showers popping up. All right, so the her itself. Oh, because it's currently running. So let me go back one model run for the her because it must be. So what is it? It's 12Z right now. So let's go to the 11Z run. That's not in. Let's go to the 10Z run. 9Z run. There's 9Z. Okay. 8Z? Yeah, 9Z is what's most recent. The her runs every hour. So 9Z it looks like 9Z is the last complete run. All right, so here's 9Z her. It stops at like 4 o'clock, popcorning up storms. So, it's the bottom line I hope you're taking away from this is that it's going to rain today. We need it, so we'll take it. So there's your like 50-60% coverage of seeing showers and thunder showers today. In terms of the coverage, I think that it was pretty clear the coverage is going to be very high across the metro. The question is how close to the coast and how close to the inland air. Like, where does that sea breeze collision set up? I think that that's going to be the biggest question mark, right? Tim says my new local station shows a combo of the her and GFS and labels them as that on the air. Each television station's different. Like I do the graphics for almost 30 TV stations in Hearst. Each station calls them different models. That's fine. That's what they do. That's what we do. Yeah. Patty says afternoon launches in June, not a good idea. True. It's all about where you're going in orbit, etc., etc., etc. So yeah, it's more than just I think we'll do it now, right? so that's why that's the case. But yeah, today is going to storm, and as a matter of fact, we're in this nice healthy rain pattern where the next few days it's going to storm. We've got some pretty decent little storm chances around Central Florida, so that's always good, right? First, I clicked the YouTube version of Coffee Talk. Second, I clicked into a fake Facebook version. There's a fake Facebook version of Coffee Talk? I actually don't even know what to say to that. I don't know. All right, so we know that the rain chances are going to be up there today. The mugginess is too. All right, muggy meter for Central Florida is steamy. Hey, you knew we were steamy here in the Coffee Talk world. That means the dew point temperatures are mid to upper 70s. That's going to continue the next couple of days. So if it kind of feels crummy outside, if you feel like the humidity just takes and slaps the snot out of you, that's why. There's that. That's also what's helping with our shower and thunderstorm chances. So launch is going to be iffy. If you're heading out to the water parks today to be cool, iffy, right? In addition to that, of course, we do have, and I see that you had mentioned it, and I was working my way there. But yeah, we've got heat advisories. Feels like temperatures well into the triple digits. Heat advisory criteria being Freudian slip, met for our northern areas, which then brings up the heat risk maps, a new product the National Weather Service uses to talk essentially about a heat risk. So for much of our area, moderate to just take it easy. But for our northern spots, notice there's more red on the map, right? Looking ahead to tomorrow, not much different actually. Looking ahead to Thursday, not much different. So, just keep that in mind. In Orlando, the heat index numbers are up there. But for Ocala, let's just look like you're under that heat advisory in Marion County. This is why your feels like temperature today, even if it's briefly, your feels like temperature today crosses 111 degrees. That is your feels like, your heat index today. And that is why. That is why you're under a heat advisory, my friends. It's gross. I mean, that's gross. That's gross. Right? Yeah. Taylor, can we friggin' not? No, I know. I know. And that's let's see, that's Ocala under heat advisory. Let's look at Palm Coast, 104. Not as bad, but still disgusting. Here's Leesburg, 108, which, at least according to our modeling, would indicate that it's sufficient for a heat advisory. Haven't gotten it there, but nevertheless, I mean, that's disgusting. Got to take it easy. That gets us, that gets us into the danger category, my friends. Actual air temperatures do not go to records, really, but it's going to be a rough one. So let's do this. Let's look at the feels like temperatures hour by hour, all right? And watch how by 3 p.m., we'll even back it up a little bit. All right, here's lunchtime, feeling like the triple digits, but watch how by 1 p.m., 3 p.m., right? Palm Coast 110, Ocala 111. This is why we have those heat advisories posted for those northern areas. That's really, I think that 3 p.m., I think that's about the highest point. So that's why. When you get to 110, 111, that's dangerous, dangerous feels like temperatures or heat index. And I always love when people, and I always try to be proactive, like, oh, that's not a thing. There's no such, that wasn't around when I was younger. There's no such thing as a heat index or a feels like temperature. Sure there is. There's the math equation. I made this graphic and I love showing it. Seriously, that's the equation. That's not a real thing. Shut it. So anyway, yeah, it's a beautiful day. Find a reason to get in the pool, to go to the beach, right? It's a great day. It's a great day to do that. Great day to do that. Highly suggested. Highly encouraged. Would you? Could you? Kelly says that's a great graphic. Looks like what goes on in my mind 90% of the time. I literally pulled up the graphic and I'm like, this is why I thank God I live in an era where calculators exist. So there's that. All right. So any questions about today's forecast? It's disgustingly hot. Here's the forecast. Again, actual temperatures, mid 90s in the metro, lower 90s along the coastline. We do get those showers and thunder showers developing. There's that. All right, questions before we move on to the tropics. Anything at all. Bada bing, bada boom. Anything. My impressions are hilarious because they're hilariously bad, I would assume. They're not very good. Yeah. All right. Good. Jeannie says, find your joy. I'm doing everything I can. And if it means making fun of everything and every person on the planet, I'm going to do it. All right. Drink lots of water if you're going to be outside. Yeah, and like for example, I'm going outside. My big thing today, I'm flying at like 9:30. I've got a big review on Thursday, flight review. So, I'm flying like as much as I can this week. So, flying today, then going swinging by Wesh, grabbing the weather lab, then running down to the Kennedy Space Center, doing launch coverage. And then tomorrow my lunch break is going to be flying. And then Thursday, I don't think we're going to have a coffee talk on Thursday because I'm going to be in a flight review. So if I can throw something together, I'll throw something together. If it's early, if it's like, we'll figure it out. So anyway, there's that. Just throwing that out there. All right. But at any rate, all right. So that's where we're at. Let's look out to the tropics. Let's see what's doing out there. First off, here's a look as my weather computer goes and starts pulling and buffering data. Not much to track here. If you look, though, down around Caracas and the ABC Islands there is a little something going on. X marks the spot, my friends. There's a little wave moving into the Caribbean. National Hurricane Center mentioning that this has a low-end 20% likelihood of development as it moves toward Honduras, Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula, and Campeche, the Bay of. So that's what we're watching tropically, at least over the next couple of days' time. When we talk about the tropics this time of year, the Caribbean, the Gulf, absolutely the hot spots for tropical development. Should something want to get going, that's where it gets going. Right? Next name on the list is Beryl. Okay. Is Beryl. The good news is I don't expect to get Beryl anytime today or tomorrow. Computer, yes, I'm going to sign in. God, sometimes you annoy me. All right. Off, 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 off. Delete sessions. I know I need to check my email. Oh, man. Stand by. I got to check my email to authorize this two-factor authentication stuff, y'all. Yep. All right. Click the link. Checking the email. It's done. Maps. We'll start with the GFS. Oceanic. Caribbean. Pressure. Anomaly. All right. So let's look at the models. And again, I apologize that yesterday kind of ran out of time, but we've got time today. So here we are. Models as they stand right now. This is the latest run of the GFS. Rolling through. First off, you can clearly see down in the Caribbean, it's showing, abnormally lower pressure. Maybe something coming in around Belize. Not doing anything crazy. Look at that, though. Right where it says forecast high 94. Bottom right corner of the map there. You see that? See that little dot? Kind of hugging South America? That is the GFS trying to do something. And then another thing. Not really taking them far, but you can see it's kind of like a little train. Like 1, 2. Little low riders, little southerly systems. I like the fact that the GFS is not bringing anything big and that the GFS is not coming up and doing anything to us, but there's that. All right, so a couple little low riders there on the American GFS. Let's switch over. Let's look at the European. All right. Trying to do something with this little Caribbean thing. Not much, but something. And then there we go. The European showing that same. So that's the European at 204 hours out. We switch back to the GFS, and it's got something in that vicinity of time, but maybe a little further out. So the European is sniffing out something as well, around 204 hours out, and then perhaps recurving it. So looks like around the 4th of July-ish, models kind of hinting at that. Let's switch over and let's look at the European AI model, because that's fun and slightly terrifying. Look at that. Picking it up around July 3rd. See that? Not doing much with it, but showing something around St. Martin, St. Croix, fading it around Puerto Rico, and then not doing much. All right. Ensemble time. What are ensembles? Ensembles are basically like 50 versions of the GFS or the European overlaid on top of themselves. Thus, we're able to get an idea. It gives us confidence instead of just like, this is the euro, this is the GFS. It's like, no, this is like 50 euros. This is like 50 GFSs. So, right off the bat, around June 29th, the GFS ensembles, there's some support around Cozumel, around Tampico, right around the Yucatan Peninsula there. There's like 3 of the 50 are kind of trying to do something around the Yucatan Peninsula. All right, and then into the Gulf of Mexico. And then you notice there's some ensemble support there. Look on the right side of the screen, right? From about the Dominican Republic, Haiti, over to Puerto Rico, over to the Antilles. There's some ensemble support for something out there. And then something, east of us, a couple of ensemble members of the GFS, maybe into the Gulf of Mexico. So that first, 7 to 10 days in July, something to watch. Oh, Taylor says 50 Shades of Spaghetti. That's funny. I like that. That's funny. All right, let's switch back and let's look at the European ensembles. Mm-mm-mm. All right, so we've got around the Yucatan there. We've got some ensemble support for development around the Yucatan. All right. And then as that moves out, watching around the Antilles there, right? Like, also interesting that it's trying to pop something up around July 1st off of our East Coast, or at least there's one ensemble member doing that. But you can absolutely, I mean, the Europeans kind of going a little bonkers with something out east around, look at that, July 5th, 6th, 7th. Now, you see how they're pretty tight here and then they kind of spread out there? That would just let you know that the models are like, there's something. But again, consistency breeds confidence. The tighter packed they are is confidence. So the fact that they're diverging basically says it thinks there's something. It just doesn't really know what's going to happen. So interesting, though. You're definitely starting to see the ingredients of something coming together, though, right? So, yeah, definitely something to watch, right? Next name on the list, Barrel. Brad, you're right. Definitely something we'll have to watch, my friend. The long range forecast is kind of indicating some of those threats coming up. But for right now, there's only the one, and it's down really far south around the ABC Islands. But there is some model indication that that may try to blip up just a little bit, right? So that's what we're seeing for right now. For those of you that came in late, of course, Falcon Heavy is going to be the big story today. It's a beautiful beach day, but yeah, it's going to be a big story today. Falcon Heavy launching a weather satellite, so you know my nerdy tookus is going to be all about that. Here's a live look over at the Kennedy Space Center. Beautiful this morning on our Tower Cam network. There's going to be some questionable weather though later on today. So yeah, we'll have to watch. 30% likelihood of that. All right. All right. 7-day forecast. Then we can chat. Around 516 is what they're targeting, Nikki. Yeah. Goes you. Yeah. Goes you. Go Falcon Heavy. Go Sharks. 60% coverage. We got some storms next couple of days. Yeah. Diane's asking, where's the New Smyrna Beach Tower Cam located? It's in New Smyrna Beach. I don't know which building. Tammy's asking, anvil clouds, what are they? That's a good question. So, anvil clouds and lightning. So we know what lightning is. What's an anvil cloud? I'm trying to think if I have any graphics that can illustrate this. I'm going to go into the bank. I'm just looking. I don't know that I have. No, not that. Not that. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up launch forecast. Yep, this is what I'm going to pull up. Perfect. This is exactly what I was looking at. All right. So what we're looking at here is the launch, the probability of violation, the POV. So in this case, there's a 30% chance of good weather. There's a 70% chance of POV. Why? Well, quite simply, because of, as we've mentioned, lightning and anvil clouds. So the lightning rule is how far away is the rocket launching from a lightning storm? All right. Then we've got just the straight up anvil clouds. So basically, you can have lightning storms like in the metro area. This is a graphic from Space Launch Delta 45, the folks that do these forecasts. Look at the attached anvil cloud rule. Look at the detached anvil cloud rule. So in this case, even if you have storms in Orlando, if the rocket's launching away and the cloud is anviling, so if the upper level winds are kind of blowing the cloud up top toward the Kennedy Space Center, even if the thunderstorm is in Orlando, but the cloud is getting blown over toward the Kennedy Space Center, you can still develop that electrical charge that's necessary for a lightning storm to develop. And moreover, you can develop the static electricity so that as the rocket is accelerating during its ascent, it will, with the friction in the air, believe it or not, develop enough additional static charge to trigger a lightning strike. So that's why anvil cloud rule plays in. Space launching is not an easy thing. Adding weather to it adds such consideration to it. So it's interesting. Yeah. All right. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody? Now I'm found 75. Thanks. Of course. My pleasure. All right. Questions, comments, concerns? How we looking? How we looking? Successful space launching is not easy. Well, correct. Oliver, as other countries show, space launch isn't terribly hard. Successful space launch is hard. Yeah. Do you fly in these storms? No. I fly before the storms. I don't fly into thunderstorms. Rita, I had one about Saharan dust. Let's pull up the old Saharan air layer graphics. Ask your question again because I missed it. What I'm doing is I'm pulling up the satellite right now, the satellite imagery with the Saharan air layer so we can get an idea of what's happening out there. Why does it reduce storm formation? Just moisture reduction? Yeah, essentially, you've got a moist column of air, but if you're replacing just air that can be moistened with dust, the dust particles dry it out. Yeah. I guess it's kind of like, you know, kitty litter pulling in moist, that kind of a thing, I guess, is kind of the idea. Yeah. Something to that effect. One thing that's kind of interesting is you look down here around the ABC Islands, though, right? Like this little tropical wave is in a sea of Saharan dust. It's fighting the good fight, man. It's fighting that good fight. By the way, that Saharan dust moves our way. Let me just do this. Let's just move this camera. Watch what happens the next couple of days. It's got to go load the data, right? Yeah. But into next week, gonna get some Saharan dust in our area by mid next week, it looks like. Not a ton, but enough. Enough that, you know, the sunrise, sunset. It'll be pretty. So did they officially name that storm that went to Mexico? There was Alberto. We did have Alberto. So we have had our first named storm of the year. Yeah. And I believe it was right on June 19th, which is the 20-year stereotypical first. Yeah. Tammy says that dust makes for great picks. 100%. Yes, it does. All right. Do we have any questions? Concerns? Looking to go to Tarpon Springs this coming weekend. How's the outlook so far? Sorry, I was late and missed the localish stuff. For right now, Tarpon Springs may be okay, but there's going to be some storms. Yeah. So no cruise info. It rained. The cruise, it rained. It rained. It rained. And then when it was raining, it started raining some more. I went through some CAG lows. We had a couple of really sunny days. It was nice. It was very nice. Loved it. We did the Wonder of the Seas. It was fantastic. The weather was not the greatest, but that's the way that goes, right? Yeah. Had some great memories. But like this is a good example of what the weather was like the entire time, like cloudy and wet. That ship is incredible. That ship was incredible. Tiffany, lesson learned? Yeah, go again. Cruise again. I just need to cruise more often. That's what it is. That's the lesson that I learned. I need to cruise more often. Yeah. But why does every day but today show a low? Christy's asking. Because we hit our low at like 6 o'clock this morning. We done. Cindy, did the boys enjoy the cruise? Yeah, they were just crazy. They were just crazy. Those kids are crazy. No refund. I had a great time. Had a great time. Take an Alaska cruise. My friends are actually on an Alaskan cruise right now. Um, I think I'll probably have to do one someday. We'll get there. Deb says we're on that ship in February. Cannot wait. Yeah, the Wonder of the Seas is incredible. Do yourself a favor though, y'all. Like, go see all the shows. Like the Aqua Show. Holy crap! Unbelievable. Fine Arts Now. How'd you eat on the cruise? Portion control. Okay. I was terrified of the portion control. I did okay, and I weighed myself yesterday. Did not gain any weight. Thank God. That's a non-scale victory because they've put so much food in front of you, and I did my best, and thank goodness it was good. Yeah, the food was delicious. It's just great. It's great. I know so many people are not fans of cruising, and I would just say try it. I would also say one thing, kind of interesting. There was, okay, so we get on the ship and there was a sign that said Super Mario's office. And I'm like, huh, who is Super Mario and why does he get an office? So I Googled, this guy basically lives on cruise ships. He's for like the last 25 years, he lives on cruise ships. Um, I didn't go bother him. He runs a business from his laptop. But anyway, there's like a little documentary about him that the New York Times did, which I thought was kind of an interesting little thing. So watched it and it's kind of neat. So Super Mario was on the ship with us. Who knew? Taylor says, "Listen, you could cheat here and there, just don't fall off the wagon every day." No, not booking. Yeah, or not cheating. Cannot do that with food. My stomach won't allow me, and yeah, I need to stay consistent. I'll eat whatever I want, but just little bits of it, little bits of it. Jennifer, how was Wonder of the Seas according to your kids? It's hard to get away from Disney Cruise Line's kid program. I mean, the kids loved it. They loved the kids club. Yeah, they loved it. The splash pad, everything. Anne Marie, did you book the next one yet? No, have to recoup some funds for goodness sake. Jennifer says that's Super Mario. He's awesome. Has a few videos on YouTube. Oh yeah, no, seemed like an awesome dude. He was just sitting back there smoking cigars and working on the computer. So yeah. The Aqua Show on Allure was amazing. My 2.5-year-old grandson loved it. Yeah, yeah. The Aqua Show was unreal. Carol, I'm with you. RNY life is real. Yeah, there's no cheating. There's no cheating. I'll eat anything I want. Like I had anything I wanted on the cruise. Little bits of it. Oh my God, Lauren, let's get Super Mario on Coffee Talk. I wouldn't even know how to reach out to the guy. I know where his office is on Wonder of the Seas, at least for now. So anyway, all right, that's all I got, people. We good? We good? Sounds good. All right, so I'll see you guys on Coffee Talk tomorrow morning. I will be at the Kennedy Space Center bringing launch coverage starting on WESH 2 News at 4. All right? Sound good? Sound good. If anybody knows Super Mario, hey, we'll get him on Coffee Talk. Why not? It'd be interesting to talk about 25-ish years on a cruise ship, what kind of weather he's seen. That's all I got, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Yes, fingers crossed for a rocket launch today. Fingers crossed. All right, I'll see y'all later. Take care.